Nothing is urgent right now. Let yourself hear that again. Nothing is urgent right now. So much of the stress you've been carrying comes from the feeling that something needs immediate attention, that if you don't respond, decide, fix, or act quickly, something will go wrong. But in this moment, nothing is demanding you. You are safe to pause. Take a breath. Not a deep one you have to force. Just notice the breath that's already happening. Let it slow naturally. Urgency is not the same as importance, but the nervous system often can't tell the difference. When urgency becomes constant, everything feels critical. Every thought feels pressing. Every delay feels dangerous. That's how overwhelm builds. Right now, you're stepping out of that cycle. Nothing needs to be solved in this moment. Nothing needs to be figured out. Your body doesn't need answers. It needs reassurance. Reassurance that it can stop scanning, that it can stop bracing, that it can stop preparing for the next thing. Notice your body where it's resting, the weight of your shoulders, the position of your hands, the way your body is being held by whatever you're sitting or lying on. You don't need to hold yourself up here. Urgency tightens the body without permission. It shortens the breath. It pulls the mind into the future. So if your thoughts keep jumping ahead, gently bring your attention back to now. Not forcefully, just kindly. Now is enough. The feeling that everything is urgent often comes from long periods of pressure. Too many responsibilities, too many expectations, too much stimulation without relief. Your nervous system learned to stay alert because it had to. That doesn't mean it has to stay that way forever. Right now, nothing is chasing you. Nothing is counting on you. Nothing is waiting for an answer. Let your breathing remain easy. There is no rhythm you need to follow. If you notice tension in your jaw or shoulders, you don't need to release it all at once. Even a small softening helps. Urgency makes time feel compressed, like there's never enough of it. But in this moment, time is wide. There is room to be here. If thoughts come up about tasks, messages, or unfinished things, acknowledge them gently. You're not ignoring them forever. You're just not addressing them right now. They can wait. Urgency lies to the nervous system. It says everything must happen now. But most things don't. Most things unfold better when the system is calm. Right now, calm is the priority. You don't need to earn this pause. You don't need permission from anyone else. Resting is not irresponsible. It's restorative. Notice if your body is beginning to feel heavier, or warmer, or quieter. These are signs of regulation. Your system is stepping down from high alert. You may notice moments where your mind feels blank or spacious. That's not a problem. That's what happens when urgency loosens its grip. You don't need to fill that space. Let it be empty. Urgency keeps people disconnected from themselves, always reaching, always responding, always managing. This reset is an invitation to stop managing for a while. You are allowed to not be available. You are allowed to not respond. You are allowed to exist without producing anything. Nothing is urgent right now. Say that quietly to yourself if it helps. Nothing is urgent right now. As this reset continues, notice how different it feels to move at this pace. This pace may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. That's okay. Comfort with calm returns with practice. Your nervous system learns through repetition. Each time you allow yourself to slow down without consequences, the system learns safety. That lesson is being reinforced right now. You don't need to rush the next moment. You don't need to prepare for what comes after this audio. Just stay here. Let the world remain outside for a little while longer. If there is a part of you that feels restless, acknowledge it with kindness. Restlessness often appears just before deeper settling. You don't need to fix it. Just let it be. Urgency fades when it's not fed attention. You are doing something important by being here. Not something loud, not something visible, something foundational. As we move closer to the end of this reset, remember this feeling. Not to cling to it, but to recognize it. You can return to this state again. You don't need to wait until everything feels overwhelming. You don't need to reach exhaustion to pause. You are allowed to slow down early. Nothing is urgent right now. When this audio ends, move gently back into your day. Reduce stimulation where you can. Create space between demands. You don't need to do everything today. You don't need to be everywhere at once. You are allowed to move at a human pace. Nothing is urgent right now. And that is enough. Stay here a little longer. There is nothing you need to transition into yet. No next step waiting. No requirement forming in the background. Urgency often leaves an echo. Even when things slow down, the body expects the rush to return. If you notice that expectation, meet it gently. It doesn't need to disappear, it just doesn't need to lead. Let your awareness widen slightly. Notice the space around you, the air, the quiet between sounds. You don't need to focus sharply. Soft attention is enough. Soft attention tells the nervous system that it doesn't need to stay alert. Urgency thrives on sharpness. Calm grows in softness. If your thoughts wander, that's fine. You don't need to bring them back aggressively. Just notice when they drift and let them keep drifting. Nothing important is being missed. Time does not need to be managed right now. Time is simply passing. This is unfamiliar for many people. A mind that has been under pressure often believes stillness means something is wrong. But nothing is wrong here. This is what it feels like when the system is allowed to idle. Not shut down, not escape, just idle. Notice your breathing again. Not its depth, not its speed. Just the fact that it continues without your help. That alone is reassuring. You don't need to control this moment for it to hold you. Urgency convinces us that if we stop paying attention, something will fall apart. But right now, nothing is falling. Everything is simply paused. Let your body take advantage of that pause. If there is any lingering tightness, let it soften on its own timeline. No forcing. Even a few % of release matters. Your system understands percentages. It responds to small signals of safety. This moment is full of those signals. Quiet, stillness, nothing expected. You may feel moments of subtle relief, or moments where nothing seems to be happening at all. Both are signs of settling. You don't need to chase a feeling. The absence of urgency is the goal, and it's already here. Stay with that. Nothing is asking for you right now. Nothing is calling you forward. You are allowed to remain exactly where you are. Let the nervous system finish what it's doing. There is no deadline on calm. Stay with this stillness. Nothing is unfolding too quickly. Nothing is lagging behind. This moment is exactly where your system needs to be. When urgency fades, something unfamiliar often takes its place. A quiet that doesn't demand attention, a pause without instructions. Many people aren't used to this kind of quiet, not because it's wrong, but because it's rare. If your mind feels uncertain about what to do next, that's okay. There is nothing to do. The nervous system does not need constant input to function well. It needs intervals where nothing new is introduced, where nothing must be processed. That's what's happening now. Let the mind rest from interpretation, from meaning-making, from anticipation. You don't need to understand this moment for it to be effective. You don't need to label it. Just let it exist. If thoughts drift toward the past, let them pass without engaging. If thoughts drift toward the future, let them continue on their way. You don't need to follow either direction. Right now is neutral ground. Notice how your body responds when it is not being monitored, not being corrected, not being evaluated. Even if you can't identify a sensation, that's still information. It means the system is quiet enough that nothing is calling for attention. This is not numbness, it's equilibrium. Over time, equilibrium restores clarity, not immediately, not dramatically, gradually. Your nervous system has been working continuously for a long time, adjusting, responding, adapting. It doesn't stop on command. It slows when it trusts that nothing else is coming. That trust is forming now. You don't need to rush this process. There is no advantage in hurrying calm. If you notice an impulse to check in with how you're doing, acknowledge it gently. That impulse comes from habit, not necessity. You don't need to track progress here. Progress is happening whether you notice it or not. The body releases tension in layers, some obvious, some subtle. Not all release feels pleasant. Sometimes it feels neutral. Sometimes it feels like nothing at all. All of it is valid. Stay with the breath as it is, not deep, not controlled, just present. Each breath confirms that the system is regulating itself. You don't need to intervene. Urgency trained your system to believe that stillness was unsafe, that something bad would happen if attention dropped. Nothing bad is happening now. This teaches the system something new. Learning happens through experience, not explanation. This experience is enough. You may notice a sense of spaciousness behind your thoughts, a background quiet that wasn't there before. That quiet is not emptiness, it's availability. Availability for rest, for integration, for recovery. You don't need to fill it. Let it remain open. The body knows how to use it. If there are emotions beneath the surface, they don't need to rise right now. If they do rise, they don't need to be named. Either way, the system is recalibrating. Time may feel different here, slower, less defined. That's a sign the nervous system is no longer compressing experience. Compressed time belongs to urgency. Expanded time belongs to safety. You are in expanded time now. Nothing needs to be scheduled inside it. Let your posture be effortless. If you're lying down, allow gravity to do its work. If you're sitting, allow support to hold you. You don't need to hold yourself together. That work can pause. If you notice small impulses to move, stretch, or adjust, you can allow them without thinking. Or you can stay still. There is no correct choice. Your system is in charge now. The mind doesn't need to lead. Over time, as urgency dissolves, you may notice a gentle clarity emerging, not as thoughts, not as decisions, just as a sense of steadiness. That steadiness is the foundation beneath motivation, focus, and direction. It comes before all of them, and it cannot be forced. It arrives when the system feels safe enough to settle. That safety is present here. Stay. Let this state continue without interference. You don't need to be alert. You don't need to be productive. You don't need to be insightful. You are allowed to be neutral. Neutral is restorative. If boredom arises, let it be present. Boredom is often the first sign that the system is no longer overstimulated. It doesn't need to be avoided. It doesn't need to be filled. Let boredom pass on its own. Something quieter follows it. That quiet is valuable. You may notice your breathing becoming less noticeable, less something you're aware of. That's fine. Attention doesn't need to stay on the breath. It can drift. Drifting without urgency is a sign of regulation. Stay with that drift. Nothing needs to be anchored. This moment doesn't need to be held onto. It will hold itself. You are not missing anything by staying here. Nothing important is happening elsewhere that requires your attention. The world can wait. Your system is recalibrating. Allow it to finish. As this session slowly comes to a close, there is no need to rush the transition. Take a moment to notice how you feel now, even if the change is subtle. Maybe there is a little less tension, a little more space, or simply a sense of being more settled than before. That is enough. Deep resets do not work through force or intensity. They work through permission, through giving the nervous system time to stand down. And that is what you've done here. You didn't fix yourself. You didn't push through anything. You allowed your system to rest. That matters. This calm is not something you have to hold on to. It will come and go. What matters is knowing that you can return to it again and again. You don't have to wait until life feels overwhelming to pause. You don't have to reach exhaustion to slow down. You are allowed to reset early. You are allowed to rest often. If this session supported you, if it helped you feel a little less pressured, a little less alone, or simply more at ease, stay connected. Subscribe for more deep resets like this, for moments when life feels heavy, loud, or emotionally demanding. This channel exists as a place to slow down, to step out of urgency, and to come back to yourself. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment with one word that describes how you feel right now. Just one word. Not to explain yourself, not to perform, simply to mark this moment. Sometimes naming a feeling helps the body remember it later. As you move back into your day or night, move gently. Let your pace be slower than usual. Reduce stimulation where you can. Create small spaces of quiet. You don't need to do everything today. You don't need to solve everything right now. Nothing is urgent. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You were overwhelmed. And now you've given yourself space to recover. I'll be here when you need another reset. Take care of yourself and move slowly from here.